everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a question and answer for you guys on being a makeup artist. I've gotten this request to do a video like this for a really long time, so I thought it would be fun to sit down, ask you guys what kind of questions you would like to know, and I would answer them for you. So I asked you guys yesterday on Instagram to send me all your questions, and I got so many. So without any more talking, let's go ahead and start going to the question. Okay, so just really quickly scrolling through the questions, I think the number one question that I've gotten, and it's a question that I think everyone has pretty much asked, which is, did I go to school, am I certified, or am I self-taught? So I'll answer that now. I am not certified. I did not go to cosmetology school, and yes, I am self-taught. The only type of certification I have, in a sense, is I did get a workshop certification. I went and took a makeup class in New York City by Dress Your Face, who's Tamana. I took one of her master classes, and I did get a workshop certification from that, but that is completely different from getting the certification of being a makeup artist and being certified. So I am completely self-taught. I didn't go to school for it, and that's the answer to that question. So now going down the list, how and when did you realize that being a makeup artist is what you wanted to do as your career? And this is from Maria, who is, I love you, Maria. How and when? I actually never knew what I wanted to be. For the longest time, I actually thought I was going to go to culinary school because I was really loving baking and cooking. But then I realized that that was more of like a hobby for me. And then I started to like freak out, like, what the heck am I going to do? And long story short, I told it before, but I got really sick one winter. I think it was about 3 years ago. I was at home for two and a half months straight. I was so sick. And during that time, that was when I think a couple months ahead of time was when I started Instagram, and Instagram was so big then. So I was following a bunch of makeup people and fashion people, and so since I was homesick, I thought, you know what, I'm actually gonna look up what these people actually do. So I went on YouTube, and the very first person I ever looked up was Camila Coelho, and I just became infatuated with makeup. I watched every single one of her videos on her English and her Portuguese channel, and I didn't know anything about highlighting. I didn't know anything about contouring. I honestly didn't really know much at all when it comes to makeup. So I just watched her and I practiced. I asked for a couple of the products that she used for Christmas, and I would just practice every single day. I just pretty much taught myself. Through watching her and then starting to watch other YouTubers, that's when I realized that I really was just obsessed with makeup, and that's how I knew I wanted to become a makeup artist. The next question is from Stephanie. I love Stephanie as well. How did you get your name out there as a makeup artist and build your clientele? By the way, I just love your videos. I love you, Stephanie. How did you build your clientele? How did I get my name out there? Well, I actually just started freelancing the beginning of this year, so it's gonna be a year soon. A lot of the clients that I took first were people that I actually knew from high school or friends, and things like that, family members, through them seeing what I do on Instagram and Facebook and things like that. So the first couple clients that I had were them. After that, I then went ahead and built my own website. I got business cards, which actually Steve was the one that helped me a lot with the business cards. He would take a huge amount of business cards all the time, and when he goes to work, he works in all different places. So whenever there was a bulletin board, he would always put my business card up on a bulletin board, and it was so funny because I would have friends then take pictures of them and send them to me and be like, Ashley, your business card is in here and in here, and it was so funny. So Steve did that for me. He also did get me about 2 or 3 clients that I've had so far. And then after that, I pretty much knew that I needed to branch out and do more, because I knew that my friends and family were probably only going to get married once and engaged once. So I needed to build up my clientele. A couple months ago, I started doing advertising, which advertising is very rewarding, but the only thing is that it is quite expensive. So you do have to put out a good chunk of change to advertise and to start out doing that. But in the end, I feel like it's going to be so rewarding. I've already started to book a good amount of clients, and I've gotten a lot of inquiries through advertising. My number one thing is just to make my clients happy, so then they can pass my name on to other people that they know. So honestly, it's between putting yourself out there and just hearsay, and just really just getting your name out there. Okay, so Caitlin, she did ask me, did you go to school for, or are you completely self-taught? Yes, I am self-taught. What you don't see. She said, how do you get started as a makeup artist? Did you get certified? What are some of the staples you need for your makeup kit? Again, answer that, but staples for my makeup kit, you definitely have to have, number one, without a doubt, you have to have good brushes. I feel like you can have all the greatest high-end products in the world, but if you do not have good brushes, your makeup is not gonna look good. There have been so many times that I have done like trial and error with using cheap brushes over good brushes, and though, I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn right now, but even though I know how to blend with a good brush, when you blend with a cheap brush, it just doesn't look the same, and your whole look is just completely just not good. So I would definitely say one thing to definitely have in your makeup kit is to have good brushes, because you want to make your client happy. You want to give them the look that they want. You want to make sure that you have good foundations depending on whatever kind of skin type you have. I'm still trying to invest, or I do have money set aside. I should just go ahead and pull the trigger. I'm still looking forward to getting the LC Cosmetics foundations and putting them in my makeup kit. Right now I have NARS and Becca, which I love, and I love the way they look on my clients, but I feel like it would be such a great investment to get the LC because it's good for any skin type and it leaves your skin looking absolutely flawless. And just making sure that you have a good amount of eyeshadows and things to do on the eyes, because you never know what your clients are going to want, but at the same time making sure that you don't go overboard. You don't want to bring like 20 palettes with you and 20 million eyeshadows with you. Just keep it to the essentials, but also just make sure that you have those certain kind of eyeshadows, whether it's pops of color or whatever it may be. Carly Fry said, did you go to college first and then cosmetology school, or did you go straight to cosmetology school after high school? Didn't go to cosmetology school. I just didn't. I don't know how people are gonna take this. I graduated high school and then that was it. I didn't go to college. At the time, life was a little crazy after high school. My grandfather was really sick with Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. So then after that, my grandmother had trouble. And so a lot of what I did after high school was I helped out my family. And then after that, that's when I tried to start focusing on what I wanted to do. I actually went into New York City and I signed up for a modeling agency, which I did for a little bit. Then that's when I found out that I liked doing culinary and culinary arts. I was thinking about going into that, and then like I said, I found my love for makeup artistry. Jay Elizabeth says about schooling, and then she also asked, how long is a typical day and how many days a week do you work? How many days do I work? I mean, I feel like I'm always doing something 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Like I feel like between doing YouTube, which of course isn't my main job, I don't make a huge living out of it. I do love making these videos, and so the majority of what I do during the week is YouTube when it comes to filming, editing, so on and so forth. And then being a freelance makeup artist is what I do on the weekends. Sometimes people want their engagement photos taken during the week, so there's once in a while where I do have appointments during the week. But the majority of weddings, when people have weddings, they're always on the weekends. So I am always doing something. Hi, boo boo. And then usually when I come home on the weekends from doing my weddings, I'll go around the computer and start editing. It's honestly, I feel like I never really have a break, but I have to give myself a break. Like when it comes to either just having a relaxing day during the week, even if relaxing means still doing stuff on my computer, just having a day where I can stay in my pajamas all day, and just edit or do stuff on the computer, like that's a relaxing day for me. And then also making sure that I have time to see Steve and see my family and things like that. So honestly, it's not the typical work schedule. So every single day I'm always doing something. Oh, there's Chanel. Oh, she's sleeping. Bethany says, do you have a favorite foundation to use on clients, and have you found one that you can generally use on all skin types? Like I said, I am really wanting, like I said, I've talked about this so many times, and I don't know why I haven't pulled the trigger and just gone and gotten these foundations, but the LC Cosmetics Micro Silk Foundation is good for all skin types, dry, normal, combination, oily. It's perfect for everybody. One of my favorite foundations that is the one that I use the most on my clients is the Becca Aqualuminous foundation. I was sent by Becca the whole line of all their foundations, so I do have every single color in my kit. I love it because it covers really well, but it also makes the skin look very natural. I also have some NARS Sheer Glow. I do have a video on my channel for all the stuff that I do have in my makeup kit. I will link it on the screen for you guys, so if you want to go ahead and check that out. I also have NARS Sheer Glow because I do love to use that on brides and things like that, because that's one of my favorite foundations when it comes to photography. I love those foundations, but like I said, LC Cosmetics Micro Silk I think is, in my opinion, one of the best foundations out there. I love it on myself, and I really, really am looking forward to getting it for my clients. Okay, Makeup by Amy Jo. What is the hardest thing to learn how to do on clients? And also, how did you establish your prices? Probably doing winged liner has been, or was, the hardest thing for me to do on a client, because it takes a while to even do on yourself. So to do it on somebody else in front of you it's hard to get used to. I'm thankful that I've gotten used to it. One thing that, if you still have not gotten it, one thing that is a tip of mine, and I've learned it from other makeup artists, is the shadow shields. If you cut them in half and you put them on either side, you'll be able to get the perfect wing every single time. But winged liner has definitely been the hardest thing, and was the hardest thing for me to finally get on somebody, because it took me a while to do it on myself. And then, how did you establish your prices? Honestly, when it comes to doing pricing, there's so many factors when it comes to pricing. You definitely, my number one tip would be to research freelance makeup artists in your area. Of course, if you're just starting out, your prices aren't going to be as high as theirs. You want to make sure that you make your prices kind of more towards the lower end of the average, because you are just starting out. Like for me, I did start out with a lower price, and as I got more clients and I got more experience, that's when I was able to raise my prices a little bit more. So if you're just starting out, go more towards the lower end so you can build up that clientele. And once you do, then you can go ahead and raise your prices. But definitely research freelance makeup artists in your area. Don't look up salon prices, because salon prices are going to be completely different than freelancing, because salons, you split it up in so many different ways. So research freelance makeup artists in your area. If you live in a place like New York City, for example, your prices are going to be in the hundreds and hundreds, whereas if you're in a place like Kansas or North Dakota or something like that, your prices are probably going to be a lot lower than what you would see in New York City. So it honestly all depends on your location as well. But honestly, it all reflects on you as well. It's a lot of work to put makeup on somebody. I feel like people just think like you throw on foundation and that's it. There's so many more steps, especially for me. I've taught myself doing highlighting and contouring and powders and blush, highlight, lashes. I mean, it takes a while. It takes me to do somebody like a bridesmaid or somebody, it takes me a good 30 to 45 minutes. For the bride, it takes me 45 minutes to an hour. I want to spend more time on her because she is the bride, but it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. So don't sell yourself too short when it comes to prices, but at the same time, don't go like crazy astronomical. Awish921, you know I'm a fan. Yes, I do. Love all your videos. My question is, I am super fair. Anything more than porcelain is too dark for me. I never use any liquid foundation because of my skin tone, and I actually have nice skin where I don't need a lot of coverage. As far as powder goes, do you have any recommendations that won't make me look even lighter than I am or too dark? I have snow white skin. It's nice sometimes, but when you need just a little something extra. Thanks, girl. You're awesome. P.S. It would be so cool to have my makeup done by you. Thank you. Have you tried out like translucent powders? Because obviously translucent powders are for all skin tones. So if you get something like the Laura Mercier, it would definitely, I think, help out. For me, I always feel like when I first apply my makeup, I never like my makeup when I first apply it, especially my face makeup, because you're applying all these powders. So when you first do your makeup, and I tell this to my clients all the time, when you first apply makeup, it's obviously going to look really, really powdery. So I'm never a fan of my makeup when I first put it on, but as the day goes on and those oils mix in and everything like that, that's when I love the way my foundation looks. So I don't know if you have tried translucent powders. Let me know if you have, because you always comment on my posts, so let me know. I also love the NARS powders. I have the NARS pressed powder in Beach, and I know they come in many colors, so maybe check those out. Those are probably my two favorite powders, so let me know. Between the Laura Mercier translucent powder and the NARS. So check those out. Let me know what you think. Pretty much when it comes to fair clients and things like that, I just use the Laura Mercier, and I've gotten really great results with that. I know that MAC also makes, of course, a huge range of powders when it comes to the Studio Fix powders, the foundation powders, and I'm sure they come in a huge range of colors as well, so maybe check those out too. Okay, the blonde powder. And what is your favorite kind of makeup look to do on a client and why? Thanks for the question and answer. My favorite kind of look, I always feel like the majority, like 90% of the clients I do are always golds and browns. That's always what people love. I love doing it on clients because I feel like it's really easy and simple, but at the same time, it's really beautiful. Like, I love doing for everyday looks. I love putting just a little bit of gold with some browns and wispies, and I'm done. Like, I don't even need to do winged liner sometimes, and I feel like those looks are really glam and they're really simple. So the majority of my clients always are golds and browns. I've had clients that wanted me to do pinks and some more smoky colors. I did one where a woman wanted purple and smoky eyes. So I mean, my favorite are to do the simple looks because I feel like they're really simple yet really beautiful. But honestly, I love also having a challenge. So when somebody says to me, I like to have really smoky eyes, then I love doing smoky eyes. Like, I feel like smoky eyes are the thing that I'm the best at because I'm always wearing smoky eyes. So I love being able to do that on clients, and I really hope that one day and in the future I will always have clients that just let me challenge myself. Okay, Brittany Anderson asked me if I did go to school or if I taught myself. I did teach myself. Whoopi's Toy Box, who I love her. Okay, as far as highlighters go, I'm looking for one that is just shiny. One without the shimmer look. I see with people on TV, and I feel like it would look better for me since I'm 39 and have pores. Do you know of anything? Honestly, for me, my favorite highlighter is always the Becca Champagne Pop, because I feel like you can load it on and I still feel like it looks like a really natural highlight. I'm sure you have that in your collection, but I love the Becca Champagne Pop. Again, I just feel like it looks really like a natural glow. Wait, let me look. Okay, let me show you these two, because I feel like these two, like, I know what you're saying. You don't want to have that really, really crazy highlight, but you want to have a highlight. These two are ones that I kind of go to when I want to have a highlight, but nothing really intense. These are both by Bobbi Brown. This is in the shade Bronze Glow, which, as you can see, I'm putting it on my hand for you, which, as you can see, it does have a bit of shimmer in it, but it gives you, let me see if I can focus this. It does have a bit of shimmer. Well, my hand is so dang pale. I feel like it gives you like that nice shimmer, but it's not too much, you know what I mean? That obviously wouldn't be good for fair skin because my skin is so damn fair right now. Another one of my favorites, oh, this one you probably have to get. You probably have to get this one. This one is by Bobbi Brown. This is her shimmer brick in the shade Beige. As you can see, I feel like it looks really shiny on camera, but honestly in person it's really just gorgeous. If you were to go, I think between the two, probably go with the shimmer brick in Beige, because the Bronze Glow does have a little bit of shimmer in it. But if you're looking for something that's just really natural, definitely go with the shimmer brick. Another tip is, if you do like having a highlight, go with a pore minimizing primer, which is one of my favorite things to do. My favorite is the either Dr. Bryant Pores No More or the Makeup Forever Step 1 Pore Minimizing Primer, or the Smoothing Primer. Those two are probably my favorite when it comes to smoothing out the face and doing stuff like that. This one's from Crystal, who I love every single one of these people that commented. Crystal, when you go to meet a client ready to do makeup, what does your setup look like? Also, how do you clean/sanitize your tools in between clients if working with multiple? Thank you. What does my setup look like? I usually have my makeup kit, like when I have a trial at my house for people, or if I go to their house for a trial, I usually have my makeup kit on the floor or on a table, and then I have all my brushes laid out. I have them in like a leather pouch, so I have the pouch laid out so I just know where my brushes are at all times. Oh my god, my throat is so dry from talking. And then I do usually have my huge black Z palette that I have. It's the extra large one with all my shadows in it. So I usually do keep that out because that's the main palette that I use the most. But usually for like a trial, I will put a bunch of my palettes out so then the client can kind of see what I have and let me know what they would like. When it comes to cleaning my brushes, the #1 product that every makeup artist should have is the Cleaner by Cinema Secrets. You can get it at Sephora. It's a blue liquid. I actually wish I had it up here so I could show you guys. It's a blue liquid and it comes in a little spray bottle actually, which is very convenient for makeup artists. So all you have to do is just spray it on a paper towel, mix your brush in it, and it's clean. You don't need to wait. It's not wet or anything. So it completely takes off all the product, yet it keeps your brush dry. So you don't need to wait like 20 hours for your brushes to dry because they'll be soaking wet. All you have to do, just clean it in the paper towel. The product comes off and your brush is dry, so you can go ahead and use it on your next client. It's the best brush cleaner. So yeah, that is the brush cleaner by Cinema Secrets. Okay, this one is by Kayla. She said 5 things every startup makeup kit should have. Again, brushes. Make sure you have good brushes. 1. 2 is make sure you have a good amount of eyeshadows. 3, I would say one of the #1 things that I am told every single client of mine, you can go crazy with their face or they just want very minimal, but the #1 thing everyone always makes sure is that they have brows. I cannot tell you how many of my clients say to me, just make my skin look nice, but make sure I have brows. So I would say for my clients, 3, make sure you have good brow products or a good amount of brow products. 4, I would definitely say color correcting because you never know what your client's skin is gonna look like. I have in my kit, I have the orange concealer and I have a green concealer. Green cancels out redness and orange cancels out dark blue and purple. I recently did a mother who had a black eye, so I used the orange concealer and then went on top with regular concealer and it looked 1,000 times better. So just make sure that you have color correcting in your kit. You never really think about it, but honestly, you don't know what your client, what their skin is going to look like or what kind of situation you may. I mean, I've had people that too want me to cover up some bruises that they have on their legs. So just make sure you have at least 2 color correcting things in your kit just to be on the safe side. #5, I'm honestly just gonna say make sure you have good foundations because the base, someone's face, I feel like is the most important thing. Like I feel like I am very fast when it comes to the face, even though I know a lot of makeup artists out there say that the face they take the most time on because the face I feel like is the most important part. If your face doesn't look good, then I feel like the whole makeup look doesn't look good. So just make sure that you have good face products and foundation, and I think that your clients will be really, really happy. And then the last question that I have is actually from Mary. She was one of the very first people that requested for me to do a video like this. So I searched high and low on YouTube to make sure that I got her questions, and I finally found them. Her questions for me is, okay, she said, please do a video all about appointments on makeup clients. Tips on how to help the client feel comfortable, deciding how much to charge, how to be extra professional. Also some tips for doing makeup on people who just aren't used to seeing makeup on themselves. Okay, I talked about how much to charge people. Honestly, it all depends on you. It depends on what you see in your area, and just make sure that you cover all the bases. Make sure when you're a makeup artist, you do travel fee. I don't have crazy fees, let me tell you that, because there are some fees that I've read that I feel like are just completely crazy. I mean, I understand that makeup artists want to completely cover every ground possible, but when people, I feel like, charge the bride for a parking fee, like I personally feel like that is insanity because you are working for them. It's like having an everyday 9-to-5 job. You drive to work and you park in their parking lot. You don't charge the company because you're parking, because you're working for them. You know what I mean? So I feel like those kind of charges are just insanity. I personally don't have late charges. I know that some people like charge $20 if the bride is 15 minutes late. The bride is always late. The bride is always late because she has a million things on her mind. So not only for her, but for me, I'm not gonna sit there and calculate another 15, I'm not gonna do that. It's either this price, you can come, I'm gonna do your makeup, just tell me what time. If you come like an hour late, then that's gonna affect, of course, doing makeup for everybody else. But just these fees are just, some of the fees I've seen, I swear to God, they're just so insane. But so for me, I have the bridal fee, I have the fee for bridesmaids, I have a fee if you want engagement photos or any kind of occasion, I have a travel fee, I have a staying for touch-ups fee, and that's it. Those are my only fees. Oh, and I actually have a fee for if you're a last-minute bride. Then there's a fee because then I have to do a bunch of stuff on my end with scheduling and things like that. Those are my only fees. I don't have a fee for parking. I don't have a fee for valet parking. I don't have a fee for if there's not a lamp next to my chair to do your makeup. I'm not even joking. Come on now. Tips on making the client feel comfortable. Honestly, I just do a lot of talking. You want to kind of relate with your client. You want to make them feel comfortable. So a lot of I like to really talk through with my clients on everything that I'm doing, because I don't want to just go ahead and slather product on and then be like, okay, like what the heck is she doing on my face? So when I put moisturizer down, I'm putting moisturizer down because this is going to moisturize your skin and actually also help with the longevity of your foundation. I put on the foundation, I press it in. I tell them how I press it in because it helps with the longevity of your foundation. So really talk through with your clients and your brides about what you're doing. I feel like that is in a way gonna really make them feel comfortable, not only in your chair, but it's gonna make them feel comfortable with you being their makeup artist. Also, to be extra professional, just make sure that you go through each step, because another major thing as a makeup artist, a tip, make sure you have contracts. I know that it's something that is crazy, and in the beginning I never had a contract, but then I got burned once and I thought, okay, I know what Tamana meant when she said always have a contract. So I wrote up a contract, and you have to keep it professional. Even if you're friends with the person, you have to make it professional. Just make sure that they sign the contract. So it helps you, it helps the client as well. So just stay professional in that sense. And then also tips for doing makeup on people who aren't used to seeing themselves in makeup. If you have one of those kind of people, just keep the makeup very minimal. And then when it comes to like a trial or even just doing the makeup on them that day, you can ask if you want to add a little bit more. Like if you do something simple, say, well, you know, I can always darken this outer corner a little bit. Do you want me to do a little bit more here? And just ask them. People that aren't comfortable, I've had honestly so many clients that just don't do makeup on themselves, but they're very pleased with the way that I do their makeup. Just don't go crazy overboard. Don't use any black, because I feel like black is really intimidating to a lot of people. Again, that's why I like to stick with a lot of golds and browns, because they're very simple colors and they're not too over the top. So it's not gonna be crazy, you know, they're not gonna be thrown back when they see themselves in the mirror. You just gotta also have the client trust you. You know, there's so many times that I feel like people want this, they want this, they don't want this, they don't want this, they don't want, and I just feel like, you know what, of course, I'll do whatever you wish. But I also feel like as a makeup artist, I just would love for people to know that even with all this like foundation and everything, it's gonna look great in the end. But if they're not comfortable with it, then that's fine. You know, they're the client, they're the customer. So just appease to them, do whatever they would like for you to do. But when it comes to people that don't wear a lot of makeup, just ask them to kind of trust you. I actually had a review on one of my brides who never wore makeup, but she said, you know, she just kind of just let me take the reins, and she was so pleased with the way her makeup turned out in the end. Just, I think a big thing, just stay away from black shadow, black eyeliner, go with a nude liner. And I think that in the end, your clients will be really happy. Also, another thing when it comes to booking appointments, I'll say this too because I think Mary, maybe you would like this as well. Just make sure when you book appointments that they send you, especially for brides, they send you a 50, I personally ask for a 50% deposit, and that is what is going to save their date. If you just write it down in your book and they cancel on you last minute, then you don't have, you know, then if they cancel on me last minute, then I keep the deposit, you know what I mean? So just honestly, you want to make a good business decision and a good business relationship with everybody, but at the same time, you got to think of yourself, you know what I mean? I get a deposit, and once I get the deposit, then I send out a contract. I have it returned to me signed so they agree with everything that's in the contract, and then I go ahead and I book setting up a trial date when it comes to weddings and brides and things like that. So yeah, I think that's it. If you guys have any more questions for me, let me know in the comments down below in this video. I know this is probably a really long video and I really need a cup of coffee and a glass of water. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for sending me your questions. I absolutely love doing this kind of video. It was so much fun. So again, if you have any comments, I would love to answer them down below. If you like this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I love you all very much and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.